Exactly.
When you met Wayne, you called him a kid genius.
Yeah.
Why?
I mean, he still, to me, is that kid genius. Because just the work ethic and how he attacked it. And, and this was a kid that was probably, when I met him, 3 grades above where he was supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? And when you don't know somebody, you don't get it. You just think like weirdo. And I'm just like, okay. I'm like, wait, how old are you and where you at in school right now? And I'm like, how does that happen? And he was just like, I don't know. He was like, I just see things differently and it's just really not hard for me. And I'm like, okay, cool. I'm like, but like, maybe you're just a young weirdo or something like, but what was the balance to his life was rap. You know what I'm saying? It's like somebody who going, I don't fit in with my peers because everybody thinks that I think I'm smarter than them. But it came easy to him, like his homework or whatever and all of that, just solving things. And it kind of put him in an uncomfortable place because it was always, okay, I'm this young kid, but, I'm supposed to be in 5th grade, but I'm in 8th grade. And they don't like me because I'm here. Plus, I'm the kid that always put my hand up and answer every question. So he was looking for a balance as well of how do I fit in society? Where's my cool place? Like, so for him, he fell in love with hip hop, with rap, and he couldn't wait to say, I'm going to show off my wordplay. I'm going to show, because even this comes easy to me, but this is a filter for me to go nuts. And just the approach of how he took it. Like if somebody, he was the first one there, last one to leave. And if you didn't have your lyrics together, Wayne always had something. It would be like, hey, you got something for this song? You ain't got nothing? Wayne like, I got something. I already got something. I got a verse, all of that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Or if you left the studio and he felt like your rap was better than his, he was like, I'm going to do mine over. And he'll wait around quietly, like, okay, I'm just going to wait. Then after he was like, hey, Fresh, can I go do my rhyme over? And I'm like, why would you want to? He was like, I don't, they killed me on that. So he was very competitive on, like I said, the first one to be at the studio, the last one to leave all the time. And it was constant every day. Like, I'm like, dude, you got to go home. You got to I already did my homework. And I'm like, wow. So I can't even argue with you about nothing. Like, because, he figured it out, like, even with his mom. And what was super genius for a long time, Wayne did not curse.
That was kind of the deal with his parents, right?
Yeah, that was the deal.
Like,
that was like,
he was
as
14,
long as you
15
could do
years
it.
old.
Yeah, it was like, you can do it. And it was kind of like, how do you fit in with this group that's like the streets, the hood? Like, that's what they represent.
Raw.
And you can't say one raunchy curse word or none of that. But the genius of his verses and where he fit in, it was just like, wow. I'm like, you really don't need to curse. And I think even that was a lesson in hip hop to say, like, you can actually come across super cool without cursing. And he did it for a long, long time.
Until F the World.
Yeah.
Right?
And I understood it when he did that song. I totally understood it because it's just when something happens to you and you lose something that's very close to you, that is your feeling. And
he lost his father.
Yeah, and he lost his father. So where else do you express that? I mean, he could have expressed it in a bad way, or and did something crazy, or put it in your music. So of course I agreed with it. I was like, put it in your music, because I see what I mean, at that time, I saw a kid drinking and going down the wrong path. So I'm like, I'm gonna stop you. Yeah, I'm like, I gotta stop you right now. I'm like, why don't you? Whatever you doing, I know what you feeling, but put it in your music. So something had to give. So I'm just like, you know what? I got to let you say it how you feel.
And you were talking about that, like, Wayne always did his homework. Like, you were telling a story where, like, you guys would be talking about a type of gun or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's called. Seraphona?
A Serafina.
Serafina gun. He had no idea what it was. He went home and he did research on it.
Research on it, came back, and in the rhyme, he's saying everything about, and I'm just like, dude, how do you know that? And he was just like, oh, I looked it up. He was like, I'm not gonna say something that I don't know. And I'm just like, wow. I'm like, this crazy.
Like he's telling you this gun was manufactured in Germany. And
so it was just like, okay, you're getting on our nerves. Like, we don't even need to know all of that. How many of them was made, the year it changed, all of that. And we just like, dude, we was just having a conversation.
It's crazy. And he's 17 years old, and Missy Elliott said she loved Lil Wayne. Yeah. What did that do to his confidence?
Oh, man, like shot it through the roof. Because, I mean, that was everything. It was kind of like me saying that Chic record that I heard, Good Times. That was confirmation to him that he made it. He landed. Because the biggest thing to Wayne was Missy Elliott all the time. Like, he was a super Missy Elliott fan.
Yeah.
Like, all throughout when we started, he was just like, man, Missy. If I ever get a chance to do a song with Missy, or if I ever get a chance to meet Missy. And just for her to say that, that was, in his mind, it was success. It didn't matter nothing about money, no cars, no none of that. Just to get that, you know what I'm saying, from another MC that you thought was great to acknowledge you, that was the world to do.
Mm-hmm. And like, since Wayne was like a workhorse, he kind of lifted up the group, right? Like, everybody like you guys were recording 3 songs a day or something like that.
Yep.
Like,
because we had to keep up with his pace.
You
know what I'm saying?
The youngest out of everybody.
Yeah, because it would be like I'm saying, and it would. I'm always recording. So if I got 3 songs, I'm not tripping if y'all do them today. But it used to be like, man, Wayne gonna do them, so we gonna be here. Mm-hmm. We would finish one song, and he's like, oh, I got the verse for the next song. And I only played it when we first got to the studio. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, well, how do you get the verse off? He was like, I already know. And so you got to think about it. If he started the song off and he killed it, so now he got everybody else going, I can't just put anything on it. Like, you just like, man, I'm like, and he did it purposely to set the pace on like, now come behind that.
Got to step up your bars. Yeah. The Carter series, did Wayne have a vision for that before they were all recorded? Like, he was going to record, I don't know how many, like 4 or 5 albums or whatever, or it was just like one at a time, or
no, if you kind of know the story on it, we was in a club, and I think Cash Money was kind of like at a place where we kind of thought the sound was dying down, the whole flashy thing was done or whatever, and we was just like, okay, what's the next evolution of Cash Money? Where if I'm like, okay, we've done this to death. I'm like, we pretty much ranged out the whole Big Timers thing or whatever.
You were talking about a fish tank in your car.
Yeah, I'm like, we ain't got nothing else to talk about. I'm like, so we having this conversation, and I'm telling him, I'm like, you got to do something incredible and something that establishes you as a real MC. Like, you know what I'm saying? Something that's going to make the public go like, okay, it's serious. It's serious over there. Mm-hmm. And he was just like, he was like, I've been feeling that way for a while. But he was like, he was like, I feel like the track's been, and just him giving me not criticism about it, but just saying what he needed to be that as well. He was like, I kind of need you to go in, bro. He was like, I need you to.
He was telling you to level up with him as well.
He was like, so if this is what it's going to be, he was like, from all around the board, it's got to be something that, it's got to be a body of work that every song you could listen to. Like, you're not going to skip through nothing. You're going to want to hear every song. And I'm like, okay. And I'm going, well, I thought we always did that. And he was just like, nah. He was like, he was like, it's been good. But he was like, I want this. Because if it's going to start off what we doing, something completely different, it's got to be a super cool album. So I'm like, all right. So when we get into it, it was more of research 50 and the album 50. We did all kind of research on how do we get this demographic, how do we get these people to like it. We even brought in his mom on songs, like, what would you like to hear? Like, and she was just like, I like Maze and Frankie Beverly. I like Al Green. I like, so even the Al Green song that we did, that came from his mom. And I'm like, okay, how about we do an Al Green song, The Way More Fly Than You? And I'm like, so we won you over. You know what I'm saying? The next thing.
But why were you trying to win Lil Wayne's mom over?
We wanted this album to touch everybody. We didn't want to leave. Yeah, we didn't want it to just be, you know, like, okay, it's just some kids that like it. We wanted it to be able to cross over to everybody. Every race, everything that you could name. Animals, you know, like even me doing the introduction, it was real. Like cats, dogs. We wanted the whole planet to love this album. Like we was just like, how do we get this across to everybody?
Being, as I told you, being a fan of Cash Money for 12 years old, like we don't understand what is happening. Like, because maybe the last decade, if it wasn't for Lil Wayne, I don't know where Cash Money would be around.
Yeah.
Right? Him bringing on Young Money and Drake and Nicki Minaj and all that type of stuff. It's like, you know, the Jordan brand not paying Michael Jordan. Yeah. That doesn't make sense. Like what's going on? Like, why is this happening if Wayne is the guy that's bringing all this success? Because there's more than enough money to go around, right?
I think, honestly, dude, it's business. You know, with him is, you know, just like I told you, I think he was just being a homeboy with everybody. Like, you know what I'm saying? How everybody approached this. You think about it, we all grew up together or whatever, and it's going, well, I didn't pick up my pen and, you know, cross no T's and dot no I's. And if I would have did it the right way, you know what I'm saying, from the get-go, we wouldn't be at this problem right now. So I'm just thinking that my perception of it is, you know, is not just him, is a lesson for anybody that's involved in hip hop, anybody that's involved in business. Like, don't do homeboy business. Do it the right way. You know, and if you really with me, you'll allow me to get my attorneys and, you know, and make sure my money comes to me so we don't have no misunderstandings and all of that. And we can grow old together and be friends and all of that. So I think the first thing is we got to learn, as whatever you want to call it, hip hop artists, to do business the right way. We can't keep doing it on, if I get mad with you, I'm going to diss you, I'm going to curse you out, you shoot me, I shoot you or whatever. Let's just go into it the right way from day one. And all of that can be, I guess, result. You know, if you can't fix it, then you shouldn't be with that person. But what my feeling is this. Honestly, if Wayne gets what is due to him, then maybe all will be forgiven. But he deserves it. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know the whole ins and outs of it, but I think, like, yeah, you know, I would be telling you a lie if, you know, I didn't say he had that label on his back. You know what I'm saying? Everybody,
it's obvious to everybody.
Yeah,
Come
it's
on.
obvious.
Yeah,
like, you know what I'm saying? So
the biggest artists, like Drake and Nicki Minaj, are the biggest artists in the world.
I honestly think, you know, I think me being with my thing, I was a lot more like older, mature or whatever. And I still, like I told you, I look at Wayne as an artist that got robbed out of his childhood because he grew up around grown men and he imitated what grown men did. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's almost like the Michael Jackson syndrome.
Yeah, that's
like,
what
you know what
thinking.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
So him just lashing out and saying things is just him being a young person right now. You know what I'm saying? And do he mean it? I don't really know or whatever, but yeah, if you was mad about something, you know, yeah, you would do that if you at that age, and you know what I'm saying, and you felt like, man, like I've done all of this and this is what I get. But I really think in my heart, like if he gets, you know, what it is that he's seeking and all of that gets taken care of, yeah, we could get back to what we doing. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it is. And do it the right way. Like I have no ill feelings towards nobody. Me and Wayne always talk. We even talked when I wasn't there, when it was, you know, when it was going on. And the crazy thing was, what started, I guess, all of this was, you know, we did the Carter, and you know, and nobody was expecting that I was gonna work on a Carter, and nobody even knew that was going on. So it was a great.
You've been working on all the previous Lil Wayne albums, no?
Yeah, I did little songs here and there, but this was the one that was more of, this is what, you know, the fans want, the world want. They like, oh, you got a gang of songs from Mannie. Like, you know what I'm saying? Now this feels like, you know what I'm saying? Like this is what we want. So I kind of felt like we in a good space. We in a good place. Like, you know, this is what fans want. This is what the world want, you know, and even me and him, it was just something that kept, you know, that kept us from even doing this. Like, you know, it would be, it would be a bad taste if he went against his record company to say, well, I'm going to bring in fresh. But we kind of put all of that aside and said, hey, bro, this is what we going to do. Mm-hmm. But I know right now, like I said, at the end of the day, it's just business. But I understand him screaming out and where he at right now in life, because you know, like I said, he's never been somebody who had a time where I could actually really go to a skate park and just enjoy myself, just me, without being mobbed by thousands of people or whatever. Like right now, you like the biggest star in rap. So where can you go? Like, you know what I'm saying? So you don't have that average life like anybody else. So yeah, you know, your thing's gonna be a little bit different. So, and even me and him talking, I'm just like, you know, I even try to say like, hey, bro, I get your feelings, but handle it with the pen. You know, handle it in a courthouse setting, because sometimes you might say something that you can't take back. And that's both ways. And that's where hip hop is. You know, like a lot of times what screw us up is we might go way too far and make it unrepairable. You know what I'm saying? By all means, get your money. Get your money. You know, but a lot of times it's more of, I don't really have nothing to say about you. I'm going to see you in court.
Mm-hmm. So what we can learn from this, what hip-hop can learn from this, is put it on paper, because it actually protects your relationship.
Yeah.
But nobody ever saw this going to where it's at, in terms of, like, nobody foresaw how successful you were going to be, right?
Yeah.
Like, you didn't think that, I don't know what, Cash Money just sold 500 million records or something like that?
I think what Cash Money brung to rap was get your money. We just didn't do the business right, because before Cash Money deal, rappers wasn't thinking about retiring with money, and rappers wasn't getting the kind of money where it's like, okay, dude, you actually own your house and you got like a couple of cars. Like, it was just more of, this is a hobby. Like, ain't nobody really making that kind of money where, okay, you own some property and you actually do have a couple of million in the bank. So I think the gift part was Cash Money actually shined the light on a lot of artists that it is money in this. We letting them rob us of our money.